Hello, my name is Lindsay Walton. I'm a professional facilitator, so I do team building and training for a living. And this is my YouTube channel where I geek out about all things facilitation and human dynamics, just taking a look for other people out on the internet who have similar interests. Interest in the fact that creating an environment and an experience can help people take away so much more from an experience with you than you thought. Taking a look at quirky, weird things that human beings do and why they matter. And so, yeah, just hello, wherever you are. If you are interested in these topics, then I would love for you to comment, to ask questions, to share your thoughts on the subjects. And if you like the videos, like them, share them, subscribe to the channel. And today's video, this morning's video, is a response to Tommy. Thank you so much for commenting on the video that was explaining the relaunch of this particular channel. And it was called Starting the Journey Again, and I was talking about the relaunch, but you were mentioning you were thinking, oh, maybe this video will be about finding your career or expressing your life purpose. And so I wanted to make that video for you. Thank you so much for commenting. And also, thanks for the compliment about my first aid instruction. I'm so glad that you were in one of the classes and that we crossed paths in person. So I hope that happens again. So taking a look at starting the journey again when it's your personal journey, for everyone out there on the internet, you're taking a look at, what do I do if my life got off track? Or what do I do if I'm trying to make sure, I want to achieve my life purpose? Then there's tons of videos out there about goal setting. But I am going to suggest that a lot of the videos out there are not going to be helpful because ultimately they are a recipe for disaster. I will share my thoughts on why I'm saying that. The majority of goal setting tools that I come across are forward facing, which is the only way to do it, right? That seems to be the message. You just automatically assume I start from where I am. I look at where I want to get to. I figure out the steps in between. SMART goals, S-M-A-R-T, it's an acronym. Google it. I don't need to make a video about that. There's tons of stuff. SMART goals, very common, and they are helpful because SMART goals, forward-facing goals, so much better than having no goals at all. It's really nice to have a plan or a sense of direction. So great, but why is it a recipe for disaster? When we look at where we are today and then where we want to get to, I have heard too many times, so many times, that people achieved what they thought they wanted to achieve, but then you hear what their thoughts are on the subject on their deathbed. And that's another realm that, my goodness, you can look into. There's so many resources. Deathbed regrets. And they've actually been able to bring them all together to show, here are the top 5 things that people regret. And so much of it has to do with, they worked too much, that they didn't spend enough time with family, that they didn't take care of their health. How is it possible that you could achieve everything you ever wanted and ultimately lose out on everything that you ever wanted? And you didn't realize what you actually wanted until you got to the end. That's so incredibly sad. That's a really painful position to find yourself in. And so I want to share with you a different way of goal setting that ideally will set you up for having the journey that you ultimately want to have. To get what you want out of life, you actually need to start at the end and reverse engineer your goals going backwards to where you are today. And essentially that means you need to answer the question, how do you want to die? And that's heavy. Lots of people don't like that question because how do I want to die? First of all, sounds weird. I don't want to die. So what are you talking about? Well, all of us are going to die, so get over it. Okay, it's going to happen one day. So as soon as you embrace that, you can actually have some stress lift off of your shoulders, stop fighting it. It's going to happen. So how about you invest some energy in making sure that it happens the way that you want? And so when you actually face that idea, I'm going to die one day, what do I want it to look like? Then you can actually start to flesh out that picture. And so an activity I would really encourage you to do right now, grab paper, grab a pen, and ask yourself, how do I want to die? And included in that, I want you to answer things like, how old do you want to be? I've met people that really want to die young because they want their full faculties, full health, full strength. I've met other people, they want to stick around for as long as possible. And so, they're talking, I want to be a centennial. Is that the proper no, that's not the right word, but I hope you know what I mean. I want to be 100 years or more before I go. I've met people that want to be running marathons, they want to be really healthy when they're older, and other people that want to be completely spent, gasping for their last breath as they cross the finish line because they gave it their all. What do you want? So how old do you want to be? Where do you want to be? Where in the world do you want to be? And do you want to be, like, what country do you have in your head, what part of your country you want to be in? Do you want to be in a hospital or in your home or out somewhere? Who do you want to have with you? Do you want a spouse to be there, your children, grandchildren, family, friends, all by yourself? What does your career look like? Are you still working? Are you retired? If you're retired, what was it that you retired from? How did your career wrap up before you reached this part in your life? What photographs do you have on your wall? And so with all of those different things in mind, if you hear some little snuffling sounds in the background, that's my 3-month-old who's joined me today. You're in my dining room, by the way. If you didn't see the other video, welcome to my home. So taking a look at how you want to die, all of a sudden we can start to see, well, if this is what I want my death to look like, what choices do I have to make leading up to that? It's I just have this feeling like he's going to start crying soon, so I'm going to try and finish this video quickly. What I want you to keep in mind then is, if you look at the end, it's going to help to flesh in so many things in between. And the ideal goal then is that when you reach that finish line, you have achieved all the things, not just the little things. Get $1 million. In the big picture, that's such a small thing. I don't care if you get $1 million, I'll tell you right now, you're not going to be happy on your deathbed with that. There are other things that you want more. That's just a part of the bigger picture. Look at the big picture, reverse engineer your life. You're going to be so happy that you did. And I'll just share with you an insight that I had. So actually, well, 2 parts. One, I had the opportunity to run this workshop with a group of youth whose lives had completely gone off track as far as they were concerned. The group included individuals in their early 20s, mid-20s, who had everything from addictions that had taken over and they were mourning losses as a result of how their addiction had played out, who had criminal charges, some for theft, some for assault. There was somebody in the class that a collection of photographs that they were not proud of had been released on the internet. Everyone could see them now, and those photographs were not in parallel with the kind of career that they wanted to have. It wasn't good for employers to see those. And so just when you're feeling like everything's gone off track, what do you do? We did that exercise of, exploring how do you want to die. And then we also did another exercise of just hammering home, how that works and why it's so important. If you want a tool because you want to run a similar workshop or you want to try it for yourself and really get the hang of reverse engineering things, go to your library and check out a couple of choose your own journey or pick your own journey. I'm losing my words right now, sorry. But choose your own journey stories. And there are kids ones available, which can be helpful in a workshop if you're short for time. But when you have the time to sit down with a cup of coffee or tea and actually read through the book, get one of the young adult ones. And so it'll be a little novel, easy read. And what you're going to do is you're going to go through and start from the beginning. Pick your story when the choices are presented to you, choose which way you're going to go. That's the way that life works. Hey, I have an option. Okay, what matches up with where I want to go, there or there? And then see where you end up. And you might be happy with the ending, you might not be happy with the ending, but then here's what I want you to do. Read it forward once, and then flip through that entire book and find every single ending. Okay, there's going to be 7, 8, 9, 10 different endings. I want you to flip through, find every single ending, and then choose which one you like the most. That's what you're going to do. And when you find the one that you like the most, this is how I want my story to end when I read this book. You're going to go back through and you're going to find out which decisions did you have to make to get there. Even better, write down the page numbers. So reverse engineer it. If I want to end up here, I have to do this. Then I have to do this. Look at the choices that are needed. And so it's a great exercise to do for yourself. It's a great exercise to do in a workshop when you've got more time. And so just I can encourage you to do those things so that you can get the most out of life. The other thing that I'll share is just a personal thing that I realized when I looked at my life this way. When I die, I would like to have grandchildren. I want my kids to be active in my life still. More specifically, I want to be active in their lives. And I'm hoping that What I do with my life, how I raise my children, it's going to contribute ideally towards our family staying close, still being connected. For me to have had a chance for my kids to say goodbye to me to say goodbye to them when it's time for me to die. I think one of the biggest regrets I could possibly have is to have raised my children in such a way that we become disconnected, that they launch and they're gone. And, maybe I hear from them every now and then. There's a very visceral feeling in my chest about that idea of, my kids just one day not being a part of my life. So because I would love to be actively involved, investing and encouraging, teaching, just making casseroles for my children and my grandchildren. What I need to be doing now, okay, well, that lit up all sorts of things about what kind of language I need to use when I talk to them, how I need to problem solve when I'm angry because they've done something that I'm just tearing my hair out. How do I handle this in a way when one is 3.5 and one is 3 months old, in such a way that I'm investing in that long-term picture, not creating isolation that builds up over years, because that's often how it happens. So with that in mind, when people talk with me and I'm saying I'm feeling very busy, there's a lot going on, my busy now in life looks so much different from what it would have looked like 10 years ago. My busy 10 years ago was, I'm working on this project, I am going to be at this client site, I am writing this, and I'm going to this, and I'm presenting over here, and go, because, build career, build this, build finances, etc. All the financial, health, fitness, career goal, all the stuff that I've been told, forward facing, plan for this is, this is success, this is what it looks like, and here's how to get there. But then I came across a story, and there's different variations on it, but this basic story of an executive tycoon who goes on vacation. He's just burned out, he needs to rest. He goes to a little coastal community and comes across a guy, fishing in his little boat at the side of the ocean. And it just seems so peaceful and wonderful. And the executive looks at him and says, "You've got something really special here. You know what you should do?" And then he outlines a plan for him. You should, put in a few more hours. You'll be able to make the money to get another boat. You'll be able to expand your fleet. You'll be able to incorporate. You'll be able to, and then, and why would you do all these things? And then you'll have enough money that you can buy a small boat and retire and fish at the side of the ocean. And the whole thing just circled back around. Here's all this work that you could do to get the thing that you have right now. Why would you burn out and destroy yourself doing that? And it was this big light bulb moment. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? If I'm working hard and I want this and I want that, is so that I can carve out time for my family. And I realized I was completely on the wrong track, because the very thing that I was doing to try and carve out time for my family was the very thing that was taking that time away from them. And so realizing I want my grandkids, I want my children, I want to be actively involved in their lives. I'll be there in just a moment, sweetheart. My good boy. Because I want those things in my life, I realized it's not about waiting until I retire to get that time with them. It's not about waiting for vacations and having all of that. It just dissolved in a moment. When I say that I'm busy now, it's because a huge chunk of my time is carved out for my family, and everything else has to work around that. Our finances are now planned around being able to spend time with family. That means that we've started practicing more and more the concept of getting rid of clutter and things that don't bring us joy. Things that steal our time because they need to be maintained and they don't even, make us happy. They're not a valuable part of our lives really in the big picture. Taking a look at minimalism, and so just where is money leaking out, because that's just wasteful, that's consumerism. It's unnecessary, and that money can go towards other things, and so we get more time with our family. It taught me to prioritize my family and then work other things out around it, instead of making my family the afterthought. We think the family is first, and that ends up not being. One of the biggest deathbed regrets, by the way. So with that in mind, that's how this exercise, radically changed my life. And that's just one corner. It would take, an hour or two to explain all the ways that it's changed it. So just, you try it, give it a shot. And if you have any revelations that you're excited about, can you do me a favor, share them in the comments. I would love to hear about them. I would love to cheer you on. If you're interested in running a workshop on this topic with participants, friends, family, whoever, please, if you want further suggestions on what to do, based on what I did with that group, I would be more than happy to share that with you. And otherwise, just I want you to have a good life. I really do. So I hope that's helpful for you. And so comment, like the video, share it with other people, subscribe to my channel. And from there, just, yeah, if you have other requests for videos, then keep them coming. I love being able to respond to the people that I'm looking for out on the internet. Thanks for reaching out to me. And otherwise, just be ready for my stuff from the jar if I'm filming a video and don't have anything in particular to talk about. But now I'm rambling, and so with that, I think I'm going to stop. I'll shut things off. So all the best. Bye.